Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. So in this video we are going to go through the new Extreme Z battle for the LR Goku and Frieza unit. So this is the latest LRZA, as I like to call them, that has come out, and these guys are weak to Super Int and Extreme Int characters and Universal Survival Saga category characters. Please bear in mind that these units are only actually effective when defending, and you need to activate the link legendary power for anyone to do damage, pretty much. So it's a pretty tough challenge. Obviously these LRZAs are not for new players. They are tough, they are quite difficult to do, and this one is particularly difficult, especially if you do not have the latest LRs. However, if you are like me and you do not have the latest LRs, do not worry. This video will show you how to complete the challenge without them. You are just going to have to go and change everything up. And the team I use at the end is not the same as the one in the beginning. So if you are here to steal my team, I suggest you skip a little bit into the video, and around the last 2 minutes of the video you'll find my final team. So there are plenty of Universal Survival Saga options, but because we do not have a solid Universal Survival Saga lead, we are only going to be able to invest in using units like Krillin and Android 18, LR Master Roshi. We're going to be using the MUI Goku that recently got an EZA, the Int one, and we're going to be utilizing a lot of various units like that. The Universal Survival Saga has plenty of Int type units who are great. You've got Ribrianne, you've got Toppo, you've got Rosie, you've got Angel Frieza. But the issue with this is that the Universal Survival Saga leads overall are not the best, and because you want to use something like a Int Vegeta or you want to use an Int Android 17, you're really going to struggle if you are wanting to use those who are the most superior friend leads to use, and you try and use a Universal Survival Saga team. It's just not going to work out. So this is the team we're going to go with in the beginning. The LR Goku and Frieza is going to be our lead. You can possibly just run a Strength Goku as a lead. However, the only issue with running Strength Goku as a lead is if you don't have one or two dupes in him, he's going to be taking so much damage by the end. But the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Angel Frieza, Int UI Goku, Android 18 and Krillin, LR Master Roshi, and the friend LR Vegeta. It's going to be pretty simple in the beginning. Nothing too crazy here. The idea is to keep your Master Roshi linked with your LR Vegeta in the beginning. That's going to trigger the link legendary power, which is going to increase the amount of damage that they do quite substantially. You also want to try and make sure that you obviously get 5 orbs when you can with the Android 18 and Krillin, because that's really going to help out. In the beginning here you can seal Goku and Frieza, which also helps quite a bit because it prevents them from super attacking your units, which is, where they do a crazy amount of damage. Of course, they also lower defense when they super, so it can cause some real problems because your units will actually have lower defense going into the next round. So it is something that you're just going to have to bear in mind when you're doing the challenge. The one thing I've noticed about this EZA is just in general that you really need to kind of prioritize offense over defense at certain points. Like, rather than playing it safe, you need to make sure you maximize that legendary power link, especially when LR Vegeta is on the field. He's such a high source of damage that you're going to want to use him as much as you can. Units like MUI Goku, LR MUI Goku, LR Android 17, LR 17 and Frieza, all of those are going to be great, but they're not going to do as much damage on a consistent basis as Vegeta. LR 17 is pretty close though, and he's really useful. I'll talk about him more just now. But yeah, basically, to cut a long story short, this first stage didn't go too badly. Everything went perfectly fine. Because they're susceptible to sealing and attack lowering and defense lowering, it's quite easy to kind of control them and keep them in check, at least for these first couple rounds. So we're really not running into too many problems. They don't generate any kind of resistance to any typings, but it's suggested to have mainly int characters because obviously they will carry a type advantage modifier when defending and of course when attacking. So even though they don't generate like a specific damage reduction to a type, it is still just suggested that you go and, you know, fill up your team with int characters where you can, because that's really going to keep you safe to a certain extent. The only other real thing that I can suggest to you, obviously, is just be wary about the revival skills. You don't want to keep them on the same rotation for the most part. This is just due to the fact that, you know, if you get clapped in one turn where you don't have the revival skill option open up, you're probably going to die. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, everything should be fine. Like I said, it's pretty challenging, but we do manage to do it without any of the newer LRs, so we're still good to go. Goku's Spirit Bomb is super helpful, especially in these earlier stages. I did drop him out the team later on, but the Spirit Bomb is quite helpful, and obviously Vegeta's active skills are also super helpful. Pretty much anything is really helpful. Android 17's active skill I probably found to be the best one, and if you can find a Rainbow Android 17 as a friend, he's pretty comparable to Vegeta in terms of units that you can use to really help you get through the stage. You are going to be relying on some RNG, of course, especially if you're running this team like mine, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, we did pretty well there, and obviously cleared the first stage. We'll now jump to stage 5, and then we'll see where we go to from there. And then we'll obviously get a better look at what the requirements are and how the event changes. Stage 2 to 4 wasn't really too much of a big change, so it wasn't too much of an issue. As you can see, they're now immune to sealing, stunning, and they can't have their attack lowered, which is, you know, a little bit of a problem. I mean, they can't have their defense lowered. They can still have their attack lowered, which helps. But yeah, the rest is, you know, you can't change it up at all, basically. So we're still going to rock the LR Vegeta as our friend lead. But you can see that the way this team is cutting it, Angel Frieza and Goku, Strength SSB Goku, are both kind of struggling at this point. So what I'm going to do is best to suggest is if you have Caulifla, Tech Caulifla, that you slot her into the team. She is going to not do too much damage because she's not operating under a lead, but she does basically evade every single attack. So if you have her, she's a very good option to run into this team at this point. With that being said, we will continue with the same team, at least for stage 5. And then the team will change quite rapidly when we move on to stage 10. Just a full disclaimer before we get there, I basically attempted stage 10 about 15 times, and I didn't get so lucky a couple times. Eventually I managed to take a 79% or a 2 dupe friend Vegeta and clear the stage. But as I realized I was about to clear the stage, I realized I hadn't been filming, so I quickly closed the app, and then I kept the footage of the final stage with the team and everything. But so what I did was I then went back and basically just redid the opening for stage 10. So you will see that there's a stamina cost there because I've already done it. But I thought it best to keep the original footage, at least of the end, so that, you know, we could see the victory and then work back, because honestly after like the 6th time of recording and then deleting footage and recording and deleting footage and recording and deleting footage, I just felt like it would be best to just kind of reconstruct the opening of that battle. But yeah, it was very tough. Without, you know, like even just having 2 Vegetas, for example, would be way better, because having 2 Vegetas is just going to like so incredibly improve your performance defensively and offensively. It's just crazy. So yeah, there's just something to keep in mind. You're also going to need to easy air your Master Roshi and your Android 18 and Krillin, and you're going to need to easy air them, yeah, before you even attempt like stage 1, 2, 3. It's pretty mandatory. The reason being is obviously especially for Android 18 and Krillin, the additional stat gain is really required, plus obviously the change in their passive. And then for Master Roshi, him gaining that additional seal ability really is going to help him out, especially when you're doing the first couple stages. And yeah, just overall increase in this damage from the multiplier and the 25 key as well. So yeah, definitely something that you're going to want to keep in mind when you're taking on the stage. that you're going to want to also EZA the free-to-play units before you go and do that. Everything else though, my int MUI Goku is very good, but he's only got one dupe in him, so it's not like I'm rocking a rainbow int MUI Goku, I mean UI Goku, sorry. So yeah, nothing too crazy with the rest of the team, just a 55% Go Frieza as a lead. And when it comes to Go Frieza as well, please use the medals as you get them, because at their second awakening, they gain the ability to raise their defense on super, which is really going to help them out. They start to take some big damage, especially at 55%, and gaining that ability to raise their defense on their super is really going to increase, or decrease I should say, the amount of damage they're going to take, but increase their overall defensive performance and allow them to operate as a floater in the third slot. I found it best to run Vegeta on one side and Master Roshi on the other, or run Master Roshi and the Go Frieza as like floaters, constantly linking with Vegeta 2 out of 3 turns, while units like Goku and Vegeta soaked up most of the damage, and Android 18 and Krillin when they got going finally. So yeah, it is definitely something that I think you should keep in mind, and I think it is the best way to go about it. So yeah, just something that you should probably look at doing, because it's really going to help you out. Now we got the Spirit Bomb from Goku here. The last time it's really super effective. Like I said, this is a 2-dupe Goku. You could get more mileage out of him if you rainbowed him, linked him, put on better equipment, and I think you could operate him as a lead. But weirdly the most reliable mechanism I found when tackling the stage, especially without the LRs, is evasion. So any units you have that naturally can evade, even if they don't fit under the lead skill, at some point are actually probably just better than units that are just going to tank hits and take like 100k damage, because that's really the best way to go about it. So yeah, it's quite a interesting EZA to attempt. It was really quite interesting to build a team in trying to finish the event without any of the new LRs or anything. But Goku's damage is really good, so I'm sure there's a place for him somewhere. I just found the team I built was a bit more reliable, in a sense. But Goku's damage is really awesome, it's really great. So, he did really well. He lasted till about stage 6 or 7. So, in all respects, very good performance by him. And if I had a couple more dupes, he might have maybe lasted the whole way. He probably is better than a 55% Go Frieza though, so in hindsight probably would take him, but the Go Frieza gave me the legendary power link, which obviously helped with the damage performance. So here we will jump across to stage 10. As you guys can see, we jumped across to stage 10. They are immune to ceiling, stunning, attack, defense, lowering, everything. They're basically a god. They don't have any specific type advantage, as you can see, but like I said, int's going to be the way to go, but there is no limit to the damage any typing can do, so you don't need to panic too much and worry. Units like AGL Goku will do full damage even when they crit. And you can see I took here a 2-dupe Vegeta to represent the one I took in the first stage, but we've changed the team quite a bit. Angel Frieza's dropped out, SSB KK Goku's dropped out, and we've added in Tech Caulifla, and we've added in the Strength free-to-play copy of MUI Goku that they gave us for the anniversary. And the reason he works is literally because I built his entire hidden potential system to be completely evasion. I gave him full evasion equipment that I dropped from the Universe 7 training event, and yeah, he managed to just evade enough attacks. When he takes damage, he takes about 100k, but when he gets his evasion going, and if you put him in the right slot, he can really help out. He comes out in clutch and avoiding damage. So the way this works is basically I ran the LR Vegeta on one rotation, and then I ran alongside him Android 18 and Krillin. I ran Caulifla and MUI Goku on the other rotation just to avoid taking damage, and then basically I slotted Go Frieza, Master Roshi, and the Strength Goku on the rotation. If there's like 1,000 attacks in the third slot though, then you need to move the fragile units, which is Master Roshi, LR Go Frieza, and the Strength MUI Goku, you move them off of that slot. You're just going to have to move those units to wherever they're taking the least amount of attacks. It will sometimes break your rotations. It is just something you have to do. And whenever you can, you want to obviously pair them up to get that legendary power link with Vegeta. And that's really it. Focus on getting int orbs and same type orbs so that you can increase the amount of healing that you get. And yeah, like I said, you're definitely going to need to awaken Go Frieza to a certain point with the medals you've gotten so far so that you can get that raised defense. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the entire event. It's really difficult. It's going to take a couple tries. Preferably if you can get a Rainbow Vegeta or if you can get a Rainbow LR Android 17, that's really going to help. If you do get a Rainbow LR Android 17, just pair him in one slot with LR Master Roshi, because his raising defense ability will make Roshi able to tank somewhat. And then after that, you can just do the same theory and rotate all the other units. Run Caulifla and MUI Goku in one turn, because that basically makes a very, very strong defensive wall. And then just shift everything else around. If you have Vegeta or you have LR AGL, MUI Goku, or you have Android 17 and Frieza, use all of these units. Don't just follow this team because this is the team. Just slot in whatever unit you can. The more LRs you have, the more damage you're going to do, the less chance you're going to have of dying. And yeah, with LR Master Roshi's active skill, it's pretty easy to get. And having the Strength UI Goku helps us activate that skill, because having him and having the Int UI Goku means that basically we have the other two Total School units on rotation. So that's how we get that active skill to activate, which really helps us out. If you've not got that going on, you're going to need the AGL MUI Goku LR, because he's the only other Turtle School unit really that you can kind of run on the stage. Units like AGL Boo or AGL Krillin are okay, but you're going to need a couple dupes in them, especially in Boo and Krillin, because obviously they take type disadvantage attacks, but you can somewhat rely on their evasion to get them through. At least that's what I've noticed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing too much more to say, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut across to the final turn so you guys can see the victory, and then of course so that we can see the team at the end, just so we can make sure that I didn't do anything wonky. So here we go, we're going to jump in, manage to get everything going. As you can see, Vegeta's going to be doing all the damage. He's linked up with LR Master Roshi, and he manages to get 3 supers, which is why he does so much damage. Goku's also stacking. He's really just kind of really strong defensively. And I was really impressed with the Int UI Goku's performance. He's really a big rock solid wall for this team at a lot of points. Like he and Vegeta soak up all the damage. Like here's Vegeta. He's going to get the 2 super attacks we need, and then I think Master Roshi actually finishes it off with the crit, which is really good. So yeah, pretty awesome, and it was really fun to do. It was nice and challenging, and yeah, really rewarding. Obviously if you have LR Goku and Frieza, it's going to be a great buff for you. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And there we go with the victory. We'll wait for the loading screen to pop up, and you'll see that we get 3 Grand Kais, Tech Grand Kais, and the final set of medals that we need. There's our team, pretty much all the same as before, and Vegeta was, like I said, 2 dupes, 79%, so if you have a Rainbow one, that will help you out quite a bit. And yeah, it's just going to depend, but like I said, Rainbow LR Android 17 with his active skill is a comparable friend lead. So yeah, don't feel pigeonholed into taking Vegeta. If you have Vegeta yourself, you can definitely take Android 17. He's going to help a lot more. Having that variability along with that defense raising is really going to help you. Plus his active skill is super helpful here. So yeah. But yeah, that being said, we're going to just quickly raise the essay of LR Goku and Frieza. You'll see that they get all their buffs, their defensive buffs. They don't really change offensively. They gain a whole bunch of defense, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how you're finding the EZA below. And yeah, as always, until the next video, stay safe, cheers, and bye.